him, her, them at this time of trial. Give wisdom and strength to those who work for his or her release, and bring about a speedy end to this suffering. May you support the families and friends who can only watch and wait in fear and anxiety. Help us to know that we can do what prayers alone are not enough. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yigdishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al pnei shamayom. And thank you, that's all I have to say. Normally, again, air defence, but we're different places, one people, the same enemy. And like I say again, where the days of our being history's victims are over, but no more air, but along with air defence, all together we will win!
All together we will win! All together we will win! All together we will win! All together we will win! All together we will win!
Thank you, Tommy. And I just want to add to that we don't see any future, and there shouldn't be any future for those who glorify and make rapists, mass kidnappers and mass murderers, criminals, their freedom fighters or their army personnel like it is with Russia, with Wagner or any other mercenaries. This model has been copied in many other places in the world where people think that they can kidnap, murder, loot, steal and do crime and call it, we are doing it for a good cause. So Russia trademarked war. Russia has created those mercenary groups like Wagner Group, who's been causing all these conflicts in Africa. This is not just a Ukrainian problem. When they are training different mercenaries and terrorists in other regions in the world, so they are more able to cause problems. They are more able to destroy a country from within. This is not a Ukrainian problem. Russia is a terrorist state.
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 Stop Russia, stop the war.
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 Tribunal for Russian war criminals.
Tribunal for Russian war criminals.
Thank you for your support. Tribunal for Russian war criminals.
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 And they are war criminals. And they were criminals long before they came to Ukraine. Especially Wagner Group. When Prigozhin says, I only need criminals. I only need killers and rapists. And Putin says, whatever you need, I will provide. Whatever you need, I will provide. You want access to all the prisons in Russia? Here you go. You want a 50,000 army of criminals who will be set free and have a clean slate if they kill Ukrainians. Here you go. This is what we are dealing with. And when European Parliament unanimously say this is a dictatorship, when on 17th of March this year a warrant of his arrest got issued in Hague, guess what Russia did? They issued a warrant arrest for every judge in The Hague. This is what we are dealing with. A delusional nation of bloodthirsty, war-raging slaves. They don't have any freedoms. If you avoid their mobilization, or as they say, if you avoid becoming a volunteer to go and fight and kill Ukrainians, you can't leave the country, you can't sell a car, you can't do, your signature does not exist. Imagine, your signature does not exist. I remember when I was 15 years old and my father said, think hard about your signature, because your signature is very important. It will be unique to you. It will be a signature that will identify your identity. You will sign documents with it. I thought very hard and I come up with a unique signature. So did every one of you. I hope at least it's as unique as you wanted it to be. Guess what? That signature does not exist in Russia. If you disagree with mobilization or any other decision that this officially named dictatorship by Europe, we knew it for many years. We knew it since the early 2000s when all the media in Russia was taken over. We knew that it's a dictatorship. When they started to subsidize Latvians not to integrate into Latvian society, the Russian-speaking part, the same narrative that I took the microphone this spring and I said, this is a lie. The Russian-speaking are being paid not to integrate in Latvia. So the same narrative that Russia used to attack Ukraine, that Ukrainians are oppressing Russian-speaking. Those Russian-speaking do not want to integrate to any society in any country. Have a look in the news. Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, they demand, Russians demanding special treatment in any country they go. Kazakhstan, Georgia, Baltic countries, Ukraine included, but not exclusively. So it's not just a Ukrainian problem. When they go to Georgia, you must speak Russian because we both know that you speak Russian. Why? Because of USSR. Because of USSR. Because they took over and they said, it's our world. What Pavlo says, Ruski mir, Russian world. They have a term for that. They want to create a Russian world. And they say Baltics and they say other countries need to follow suit. But why they don't attack Latvia or any other Baltic countries? Because they are part of NATO. Why did they attack Ukraine? Because we are not yet part of NATO, but we were promised that status. Russia is a terrorist state.
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 Stop Russia, stop the war.
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 Tribunal for Russian war criminals.
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 And this is why we stand here. Lots of Ukrainians and a lot of international friends from different countries, British or abroad. We stand here for freedom. We stand here for peace. There is no expansion plans that Ukraine ever had or ever will execute. So this is why we ask for air defense and for